And we're behind the scenes here at the AtlanticCityBeat.com radio show. We just got finished taping the show that'll air Sunday, August 17th. And I'm slowing down because I just remembered I was supposed to plug this event I'm hosting on August 17th, the Arts and Authors Extravaganza. My bad. Sorry, Kim. Anyway, we're here with Tamu King Lewis, who is a therapist at the Women's Center. We were talking about the Race Against Hate that's going to take place on Saturday, September 20th. That'll be a great event to bring awareness to the Women's Center. But what I wanted to talk to you right now about behind the scenes is something we touched on at the end of our talk on the air, which is black people and therapy. You know, even though I'm black and I'm qualified to answer this question, I ask you, since you're the professional, what do black people have against therapists and seeing a psychologist, or, you know, getting help for their emotional and mental damage?
I believe for so long we have been taught that what happens in our home stays in our home. We've been taught that therapists and psychiatrists are crazy, quote unquote, and we don't take our business to them. There's nothing that they can do to help us. We keep it within the family. We either deal with it in the family or we keep it on the hush. We've never been taught that it's okay to take care of yourself mentally. You know, we're really just getting to learn how to take care of ourselves physically. So now people are telling us that we have, you know, it's not, we haven't really been taught that it's okay. So I'm hoping to get to our community that we have to take care of ourselves. It's not shameful to go see a psychiatrist if you need medication. It's not shameful to go see a psychologist or a therapist. You know, you're taking care of yourself, and we have a right to take care of ourselves just like everybody else.
One of the main reasons why I wanted to talk to you behind the scenes is because I have a friend, or had a friend, who committed suicide. And being in radio for about 3 years now, being a DJ for about 10 years before that. Some of my friends are laughing because they know I've been a DJ longer than 10 years. We'll say 10 years, but make a long story short, when Don Cornelius committed suicide, that was like a shock to my system, because here's a man who succeeded at everything that I'm still trying to build. He built it 4 times over, and then still there was something that drove him to a gun.
That was outwardly. We know how to do things very well outwardly, somewhat. But inwardly, it was a whole lot of depression. It was a whole lot of sadness that either he didn't have the opportunity, or I don't know what it was. But when we get to that space, it's hard, because we can put on a picture perfect on the outside world, and we can do all the things that the world is telling us to do. But on the inside, we're not given the permission to say, I need help. And we're not given the permission to go get it.
And it's, I don't want to play the gender thing. So I won't say it's harder for a black man, but it's different for a black man than a black woman, because, you know, we're supposed to be super at everything. And this is something I can talk about personally, not being depressed to the point of suicide, but if you don't succeed in everything, if everything you do doesn't go 100% well the first time, you feel like you've been a total failure. You're made to feel like you're a total failure. Whereas, and now I will, you know, play the race card. I have Caucasian friends, white friends, who have started businesses. Some of them started 10 businesses that didn't work. And then guess what? You know, they're working on, you know, 14 and 15. They understand that, you know, in business sometimes things just don't work out, and you just move on to the next. Whereas when I had business dealings that didn't work out, I felt like I failed miserably, and, you know, it was hard for me to get up the next morning and keep going.
we have to learn to encourage each other
Okay.
as brothers and sisters.
Okay.
You know, we don't quite do the best at encouraging. You know, when
Right,
our brother
right.
might fall, we might be like, you know, and we
Yeah,
don't
I
really,
knew I was going to work anyway.
Yes, instead of saying, it's all right, my brother, get back up, try it again, try something else. And we really do have to get better at encouraging one another, letting each other know it's okay to fail.
Right.
Because to me, it's nothing wrong with failure as long as you keep getting back up, because that's
Right.
just making
If you failed,
stronger.
that meant you were trying.
Yes, it only makes you stronger to know what to do or what not to do the next time.
Right. Right.
So
right.
we really do have to get better at that. You know, because we put so much pressure on our black men
Right.
as if they can't fail.
Right.
That's impossible. We're all going to fail at something.
Right.
So we just have to let each other know that it's okay, and we just really have to be more supportive, and more encouraging. Because
Okay.
depression is real.
Okay. Real quick, and I want to talk about depression, but how can people contact you? You work at the local women's center.
Mhm.
If people need to book an appointment with you or anybody, they need any type of help from the women's center, how can they get that help from the women's center?
They can actually call our hotline, which
Okay.
is a 24-hour crisis hotline.
Okay.
That number is 609-646-6767.
Okay.
And they'll get a counselor on the other line. They can do an intake, and they'll get them scheduled
Okay.
with a counselor or with
Okay.
myself.
Okay, great. Okay, now I want to talk about depression a little bit, and then we'll wrap up. I don't know a lot. I'm not a therapist. I am a human being, so you'll correct me if I'm wrong. One of the things that I've read or have come to understand about depression is that there's two types. There's like regular depression, like I got a flat tire, or somebody passed away and I'm sad, and then there's clinical depression that lasts beyond a reasonable amount of time, which can be dangerous.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just
You're correct.
You're
correct, because
Okay.
some of us, we can have daily things that happen within a lifetime, and we'll
Right.
get down.
Right. Right.
Right. It's based on a happening or something that has happened, and we get down, and hopefully we can get back up from it.
Right. Right.
Car breakdown, we get a little depressed, we get it fixed, we
Right.
move on from it. And then there's that clinical depression where it's not that simple.
Okay.
And many times people that are clinically depressed have to take some type of medication.
And people who don't understand.
Correct. They don't understand it, because then they say, why can't you just get up, get yourself together, get over it? No, it's just not that simple.
Okay.
And sometimes we don't have the patience
Okay.
to understand. Mental health is real, and we don't, many times some people think it's just an excuse.
Yeah.
They say, get over it, get up. No, it's not that easy. It's not that simple. There's a chemical imbalance or whatever is going on. Schizophrenia is real. Bipolar is real.
Right.
These are real things that are happening and affecting people, and we have to take it seriously.
Right. Last thing, because we're running out of time. One of the things that I came to realize from talking to other people and other therapists around the time, again, there were two things. It was Don Cornelius's death, and it was the death a few years ago of the guy, boy who was outed as a homosexual, jumped off a bridge. This is what I was told, and again, you're the expert, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times people who are even depressed to the point of suicide, if they can get past it, they can, the suicide no longer becomes an option, but what happens is they suffer in silence so long, they feel like that's the only way out. So that would be true.
Yes, they struggle.
Okay.
When you are inside of yourself and you feel like you can't get out, it's literally like you're just closed and you can't get out, and you feel like, it's as if in your brain is saying, the only way I'm going to get relief from this is to take myself out of here. And it literally convinced itself that is the only way to get relief.
And I'm almost crying thinking about that. It is heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking to think that, a person can think that this is my only way out of this pain is to jump off of this bridge or to shoot myself in the head or to take these 50 million pills. This is the only way I'm going to release this pain that is inside of me. And truthfully, a lot of times people are screaming out for help, but we're not listening.
Yes.
You know, we're either say, oh, get over it, oh, do this, oh, do that, or we're not watching some of the signs, or we're not paying attention. I'm not blaming us as society saying, but many times we're not paying attention.
Right, right.
You know, folks are really screaming out for help. They really are. And if we just watch, listen, shut our mouths, we can see a whole lot of what's going on. You know?
Right.
So, you know, we got a lot of work to do as a society, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Miss King Lewis, thank you for taking time to talk with me. These few extra minutes mean a lot to me because this is information that I'm always endeavoring to share with my listeners, my watchers, my readers.
Thank you.
Because it breaks my heart that even now somebody is watching this who is suffering in silence and they feel like they can't speak out. So, I mean, I'm not a therapist. The best advice I can give you is not to suffer in silence. If you are, please seek help and, you know, don't worry or pay any concern to people who might criticize you.
Yeah, there's always a way out. You know, when I tell folks it's not, sometimes I have people that come in and they say to me, I feel like I want to take myself out of here. You know, and my first thing is to listen.
Right.
And then to get them help. You know, because they're wanting help, especially when they tell you they want help. And we just have to listen. Right. Don't push stuff, don't force, don't yell.
Don't judge.
Don't judge. Yes.
That's a whole nother black people conversation.
Please
listen
don't
without
judge.
Judging.
Yes. You know, and that's why I say listen. A lot of us know how to hear, but we don't know how to listen.
Right.
You know, and we have to really just sit and be quiet and allow people to talk. Because I know sometimes somebody might come up to you and say, I just need to talk. But we so used to wanting to interfere and want to fix the problem and want to tell them this and that when they just want you to listen to them.
Right.
That's all a lot of folks want.
Right.
And we don't know how to do that. And we have to get better at just listening. Shut our mouths, sit back, have an open heart, get rid of the judgments, get rid of the biases, and just listen.
There you go.
And you'll get a lot more from an individual by doing that than you would running and spewing your mouth.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, we can save a whole lot more lives.
There you go. All right, this is the AtlanticCityBeat.com, and this has been a little behind-the-scene extra with my special guest, Tamu King Lewis. She is the mind behind the Race Against Hate, which is going to take place on Saturday, September 20th. And to get more information, you can call 609-601-9925. What's your extension again?
214.
214. Thank you so much.
Thank you.